Imagine this. December 2nd, 1993, Medellín, Colombia. A city drowning in chaos and fear. Pablo Escobar, the king of cocaine, a man whose wealth once dwarfed entire countries' economies, wakes up in a modest two-story house in the Los Olivos neighborhood. Just two bodyguards by his side, a duffel bag of belongings, and a faint hope that his family might survive this nightmare. He doesn't know today is his last day alive. He doesn't know that a 5-minute, 47-second phone call with his son will destroy an empire built on the blood of 4,000 souls and $400 million a week. How can a single conversation bring down a criminal titan? Come with me to hear the wild, breathtaking story of Pablo Escobar's final day. 16 months earlier, Pablo lived like a king, not in a palace, but in a prison he built himself, La Catedral. It wasn't a jail, it was a luxury fortress. Jacuzzi, soccer field, disco, even lavish parties. From there, he ran his cocaine empire, raking in more cash than some governments' entire budgets. Planes, mansions, money counted with industrial scales. But even kings mess up, right? When Pablo executed two of his own men for stealing $20 million, Colombia's president had enough. They said, enough, get him to a real prison. But who was Pablo to surrender? On July 22, 1992, when 400 soldiers and helicopters stormed La Catedral through thick fog, Pablo vanished like a ghost, an escape that shocked the world. But this escape was just a turning point, the beginning of the end. After his escape, the biggest manhunt in history began. Search Block, a 600-man elite unit backed by the CIA, DEA, and even Delta Force. Budget, unlimited. Methods, whatever it takes. Medellín turned into a war zone. Pablo didn't sit idle. Car bombs exploded in the streets. Cops and their families were targeted. He put bounties, $1,000 for a regular cop, $2,000 for a sergeant. The city bled. But the hunters had a trump card Pablo didn't know about. Surveillance tech that officially didn't exist. $1 million phone tapping gear that could track any call in Colombia. They were just waiting for Pablo to slip up. Just one mistake. Pablo, the man who once commanded armies of criminals, now hid like a rat in the shadows. From one safe house to another, basements, storage rooms, attics, a duffel bag, two bodyguards, and a life that could end any second. His enemies spread rumors he was dead, even airing his funeral on TV. Newspapers called him a terrorist one day, a folk hero the next. But isolation was crushing him. Worst of all, his family was in danger. His wife Maria and kids, Juan Pablo and Manuela, hid in hotels, moving every few days. The police were closing in on them too. Pablo was trapped. Surrender to save his family, or keep running to save himself? What would you choose? Morning of December 2nd, Pablo woke up in his simple Los Olivos hideout. He was 44, 499 days on the run. Just two bodyguards with him, Lemon and El Arete. He read the newspapers as usual. One story gave him hope. His family might get asylum in Germany. But Pablo had a strict rule. No call longer than 3 minutes. Never call from the same place twice. Stay silent, always. His life depended on it. But that morning, something broke inside him. Maybe loneliness, maybe missing his son. At 10:23 a.m., he picked up the phone and dialed a number he rarely used. A hotel in Bogota, where his 16-year-old son, Juan Pablo, was hiding with his mom and sister. He didn't know that in a concrete bunker in Medellín, machines were listening. The call was warm, full of feeling. Pablo told his son he loved him, talked about escaping to Mexico, promised they'd be together soon. Simple family sounds he'd missed for months. 1 minute, 2, 3, his usual limit. But Pablo didn't hang up. 4 minutes, 5 minutes and 47 seconds. When he hung up, he felt something rare: hope. But he didn't know that at that moment, search block operators had pinned his location on their maps. High-tech radio direction-finding gear, stuff that officially didn't exist in Colombia, had nailed his location to within 100 meters. Los Olivos, 2 possible streets, 3 possible houses. After 499 days, they had him. At 1:47 p.m., search block moved in like ghosts. Snipers on rooftops, assault teams in the alleys. The net around Pablo was complete. At 2:04 p.m., Pablo glanced out the window and saw a man in tactical gear crouched behind a car. Then another, and another. His blood froze. "Nos jodimos," he shouted. "We're screwed." Lemon grabbed an AK-47. Pablo drew his trusty Sig Sauer pistol. The first shot, a warning from search block, rang out. Pablo fired back, and hell broke loose. In 6 minutes, 200 rounds were fired in a quiet street. Walls tore like paper. Windows exploded in showers of glass. The gunfire echoed across half of Medellín. Pablo knew they couldn't win. There was only one option: run. He and Lemon bolted to the rooftop, the same old route across clay tiles. He'd escaped this way countless times, but this time was different. Bullets chased them across the tiles. Lemon went down, 3 shots to the chest. Pablo was hit, leg, back, bleeding, but he kept running. 44 years old, tired, overweight, but refusing to quit. For a moment, it seemed he might make it, but then he slipped, fell. Search block closed in. At 3:15 p.m., Pablo lay on the rooftop, soaked in blood, still alive, still defiant. His eyes held a cold calculation. How do I end this? Some say a search block officer fired the final shot. Others say Pablo ended it himself. The king of cocaine, a father who just wanted to hear his son's voice, died right there. The news swept the world in minutes. In Medellín, some celebrated, some wept. Who was Pablo? Monster? Hero? Or just a father missing his family? His death ended the Medellín cartel, but not the drug war. New cartels rushed in. The violence rolled on. Maybe Pablo's real legacy is this endless war. A 5-minute, 47-second call, choosing love over survival, ended his life. If you were Pablo, what would you choose? Love or survival? What's your take? This story's still alive, because Pablo's shadow still looms over Medellín and the world. What do you think?